Elden Ring has many powerful and amazing weapons, but out of all of them, the strongest weapon in Elden Ring is undeniably this set of balls. And today, I will try to beat Elden Ring with using only the Star Fist weapons. So this is how it went. So I picked the Vagabond class, then I appropriately named my character, then I jumped off this cliff and I woke up at Limgrave, and then I remembered my quest in this world, and it is to reclaim my balls. But you see, there's a big problem with that. So the Spike Fists are located in Lendale Royal Capital, and to access Royal Capital, I have to defeat the Draconic Tree Sentinel which is guarding the gate. So first I grabbed Torrent from Melina, then I went ahead and picked up both the Dectus medallions and rode the Dectus lift to Altus Plateau. So I made my way to the Draconic Tree Sentinel to fight him. Well, actually I'm not fighting him, I'm pushing him off this cliff. So now we can access the Royal Capital, and just beside the Colosseum, here is our shiny new spiky weapons. They are just as beautiful as the day I lost them. So now that I have reclaimed my balls, now I can challenge all the demigods and gods of this land. But first, we need to gear up. So I went on an expedition to get all the necessary items required for this run. So first I went and picked up the Golden Vow Ash of War. Then I picked up the incantation Flame Grant Me Strength. Then I picked up the Ash of War Crackblade. Then I picked up some talismans like the Axe Talisman, Radagon's Sword Seal, and the Blue Dancer Charm. And I also picked up the Flask of Wondrous Physics from 4th Church of Marika, as well as the Strength Knot Crystal Tier and the Spiked Crack Tier. And I also picked up some smithing stones on my way and got our weapons upgraded to +7 before facing our very first opponent, Margit. And honestly, Margit is such a easy boss with these weapons. You can easily stagger him with 2 or 3 hits. So defeating Margit with this weapon is very easy. After defeating Margit, we got our second talisman pouch. Then I made my way through Stormvale Castle to face our first demigod, Godric the Shafted. So Godric by far is the easiest boss in Elden Ring, and Godric also gets stance broken very easily with these weapons. So our balls were very powerful for Godric to handle, and he also went down very easily. After defeating Godric, next on our boss hit list is Renala. So I went ahead and picked up the Academy key from behind this dragon and made my way into the Raya Lucaria Academy, where I first have to defeat the Red Wolf of Radagon to make my way to Renala. So we give this dog a beating of his lifetime. And he goes down very quickly. Then I faced my biggest obstacle, Moongrum, and we both decided to jump off this elevator. After which I find myself facing Renala, where I first have to beat her children so that she comes down crashing. And Renala in her second phase took a lot of time because my balls were too short to hit her, and she just keeps on constantly running away from me whenever I try to hit her. So it took some time, but she also went down very easily. So with 2 remembrance bosses defeated, we can get our 3rd talisman pouch, and I also got our weapons upgraded to +12 before facing Radahn. So I'm not that good when fighting Radahn, but thanks to the bleed proc, I defeated Radahn quite easily with very few attempts. Then I make my way back into Altus Plateau, and the first thing I do is to pay a visit to Gillica to get the ritual sword talisman before facing Goldfree. And this fight went very good. I managed to no-hit Goldfree on my first attempt, which was very amazing, and by defeating Goldfree, we got our final talisman pouch. Then I went back into Limgrave to pay a visit to Patches to unalive him and get the Margit Shackle, as the next boss we'll be facing is
King Morgoth, last of all kings.
And yeah, I'm not fighting Morgoth normally. If I have an option to bully him, I will bully him. That's how it is. So with the shackle and the stone barb cracked ear, defeating Morgoth was a piece of cake. So with Morgoth defeated, it's time to head towards the mountaintop of the giants, where I met the most sane person in all of Elden Ring.
May chaos take the world. May chaos take the world.
Okay, then I went to look for some smithing stone 7s to get our weapons up to plus 21 before facing the most dreaded fight in all of Elden Ring, the fire giant. So Fire Giant is not bad with these weapons because the weapons can do a ton of damage, and these also have bleed on them, and these weapons are very good for stance breaking Fire Giant. As you can see, I got a lucky stance break here. But the second phase is pretty annoying because most of the time my weapons couldn't even hit him. But after struggling for a long time, I somehow managed to defeat the fire giant. Then I assisted Melina in committing arson against the Earth Tree.
For the sake of the new lord.
After which, I find myself in the crumbling Faramazula, and the first thing I do is to go directly to the Godskin duo fight. And yes, I'm using sleep pots, and I also messed up the sleep pots. Anyways, then I do my buffing routine, which is just Golden Vow, Flame Grant with Strength, and Crack Blade. And then I just beat the shit out of these goons. And when the next one respawns, I sleep pod him again. Then I went on to bully him. And the Godskin duo goes down. Not the cleanest Godskin duo fight, but I'll take it. Then I picked up the Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone and bought some Smithing Stone 8s to get our weapons upgraded to max level before taking on the last few bosses, starting with Malekith. And my god, Malekith was an annoying fight with these weapons because most of the times my balls were too short to hit him, and sometimes I hit him but the hits don't even register. So Malekith took a lot of time, so I had to play very passively and look for openings as I'm very bad at Malekith. But I got a lucky stagger in the beginning of second phase, and in the meantime I did a ton of damage to him. And we finally defeated Malekith. Ah, poor Gideon. I also knew you'd come. And you'd get decimated easily because my balls are better than yours. Next is the eldenchad himself, Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, who gave me an ass whooping in my first attempt. But Godfrey is such a good fight and my favorite boss in base Elden Ring. And Godfrey with these weapons, if you can get consistent hit on him, then you will be staggering him very fast and also proc bleed. And same as Malekith, I got a lucky stagger in the beginning of the second phase, and in the meantime I did a ton of damage that made him do the standing stomp attack, and that gave me a good opportunity to do some serious damage to him. And after a couple more hits, Godfrey aka Horalu also went down. And now there is only one obstacle before I can become the Elden Lord, and it is Radagon and the Elden Beast. So it's time for my last trial. And I suck at Radagon. But my balls can easily stance broke him, and we can also dish out a ton of damage to him. Yeah, I'm taking every single hit from him. But Radagon went down, and now it's time for the Elden Beast. Now let me ask you a question. Which is more powerful? A literal godly alien dragon thing or a pair of balls? And your stance broken, and now you'll be dead. Don't run away now. 1 or 2 more hits and he will be down. 1. And 2. GG's Elden Beast. And that's how I defeated Elden Ring with using only the best weapon in the game, my balls. Subscribe.